So hey guys, welcome to another video, and this is the video of class 9 chapter 1 number system, where in the previous video we have already seen about a few properties on the irrational numbers, and further in this video we will be looking upon some concepts like rationalization and another concept of law of exponents, which you have already studied in your class 8, where you just have to remember some concepts like a power m the whole power n gives us a power mn. So these basic laws might help you in solving some complex problems with negative powers or fractional powers. So moving on to the first concept of this video, which is rationalization. So what does it basically mean? Well, rationalization is a concept where you bring an irrational number to your desirable form. Let me get you an example. Suppose you have a number 1 by root 2. Now you want to know what is the value of this number 1 by root 2. You know the value of root 2 is the value of root 2 is 1.414, right? The value of root 2 is 1.414 and so on. Because it is an irrational number, it does not end. So you know the value of root 2. Now I want to know what is the value of 1 by root 2. Well, if I want to know what the exact value of 1 by root 2 is, I will have to do what I'll have to do first is I have to divide 1 with 1.414, right? So division of 1 with 1.414, and you have to add the decimal places and so on. You have to add some special values and decimal places, and it is a hectic job. So in order to simplify that process, what if you can represent 1 by root 2 in an easier form or in a more recognizable form where you can easily divide and get the values? Well, that is where the concept of rationalization comes in. So what do you do exactly in rationalization is you bring a rational number to the denominator and you move the irrational number to the top, to the numerator. We don't want an irrational number in the denominator because this irrational number has a rather unambiguous value or uncertain value. So when we divide a number with an uncertain value, we can't get the correct value, right? Like, yeah, as I said, 1 by divided by 1.414, this is a rather complicated case. Where 1.414 divided by 2 or divided by 3 is easy, right? 1.414 divided by 3, you can divide it and see. But 1 divided by 1.414, it is not preferable. So we want to make this number or this number look like this, or the same number should be represented in this form so that it is easily dividable and the value is easily known. So basically what we do over here is, you know the fact that root 2 times root 2 is 2, right? Root 2 the whole square is 2. This is one fact that we know. And the next fact would be root 2 divided by root 2 is 1. Well, this is quite obvious, but yeah, now bringing these two concepts together, we will solve the problem of rationalization. Now what do we do over here is 1 by root 2 into root 2 divided by root 2. Now root 2 by root 2 is 1. So we are basically multiplying 1 by root 2 times 1. But why are we doing like this? Why are we taking this procedure? Because see, our objective over here is to bring a rational number to the denominator instead of an irrational number. So now what we do over here is simply take this root 2 in the numerator. 1 times root 2 is root 2, and in the denominator root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this 1 by root 2 ultimately becomes root 2 by 2. Well, root 2 by 2 and 1 by root 2 have the same value. 1 by root 2 is in turn represented in the form root 2 by 2. It is represented in the form root 2 by 2. Well, what is the difference, you ask? Both are the same. Why are we representing it in this form? Why isn't this form comfortable? Well, we have an irrational number in the denominator and it becomes difficult to divide an irrational number with a rational number in the numerator. Well, in this form, we have a rational number in the denominator, which is 2. So we can easily divide root 2 with 2, right? Suppose root 2, the value of root 2, we know it as 1.414. So 1.414 can be easily divided with 2 and we can obtain the value, right? What might be the value? It might be between 0.7 or something. So, well, in this case, it is easier to divide and know the exact value, but in this case, it is quite not good. Like, it does not look good in the denominator. So, this rationalization comes into play whenever there is an irrational number in the denominator. So, let me take another example and justify this case. Justify why we should rationalize a fraction. So, there is another example given in your textbook to rationalize a problem. 1 by 2 plus root 3. Well, as of now I have told you that we have some means by which we can convert an irrational number to a rational number. How can we do that? Suppose we have a root 2, we can multiply it with another root 2 to make it 2. So it becomes rational number, right? Now when we multiply root 2, we are dividing it with root 2 as well. So root 2 into root 2 by root 2, we can basically root 2 by root 2 is 1. So exactly it is the same value. But if we don't want an irrational number, we can multiply it with the same number so that we get a rational number. But in this case, a rational number and irrational number is in the sum. So this whole irrational number is in the denominator and we don't want that. So what are we going to do over here? Write in a clear form. So it is 2 plus root 3. Now just observe what I am doing over here and I'll explain it in a clearer fashion. So what we'll basically do over here is multiply and divide it by this number. We have taken 2 plus root 3 over here. Now we are going to multiply and divide with 2 minus root 3. Now this 2 minus root 3 over here, I've written it over here, right? It is called a conjugate. Now what is a conjugate? A conjugate, if suppose you have 2 plus root 3, then the conjugate of 2 plus root 3 is 2 minus root 3. Simple, right? You just you just change the sign in between and then you tell it as a conjugate. Suppose you have 5 minus root 2 over here, then you change it and write 5 plus root 2. This is the conjugate of this number. So whatever the sign is in between the two numbers, you just flip it and it becomes a conjugate of the corresponding number. So over here, the case of 2 plus root 3, the conjugate is 2 minus root 3. So you multiply and divide it with the conjugate of this number 2 plus root 3, and what happens is, ultimately when you multiply the numerators, you will get 2 minus root 3, right? 1 into 2 minus root 3 is 2 minus root 3. And the denominators, just simply write the conjugate and the original one. So 2 plus root 3 times 2 minus root 3. Now what is this? What form does it look like? It looks like it is in a plus b times a minus b form. Now a plus b into a minus b, what is it? A square minus b square. So 2 minus root 3 divided by, what is a square minus b square in this case? 2 square minus root 3 square. So 2 square minus root 3 the whole square. So now this number turns out to be 2 minus root 3 divided by 2 square is 4 and root 3 square is 3, right? So 4 minus 3. Now this will bring in 2 minus root 3. Now 4 minus 3 is 1. So 2 minus root 3 divided by 1, which is 2 minus root 3. Now you can wonder, I started from, this is the first step. So what was our question? Our question was to rationalize this number 1 plus root 3. Now what are we doing? What fancy steps are we doing? Well, it isn't anything. We are just representing this number as this number. So both of these numbers are equal. They are one and the same. So what we are basically doing in rationalization is that we are representing the same number on a different form. That's all. The values will be same, but it will be easier to look at. So another problem which we get in your textbook is we have to rationalize the denominator 1 divided by 7 plus 3 root 2. We have to rationalize this number. So as you all can see, there is an irrational number in the denominator and we don't want that. So what do? Similar to the previous question, we just multiply and divide this conjugate. So what is the conjugate? As I previously explained, it is just flipping over the signs in the middle. So you multiply it with 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by 7 minus 3 root 2. So you just multiply and divide with the conjugate. Now I told you why we are doing it. We are doing it because just 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by 7 minus 3 root 2 is 1, and we are just multiplying and dividing with the conjugate because in the denominator we have a plus b into a minus b, which will turn out to be a square minus b square. Now only the b term is irrational, so b square will automatically become rational. Suppose you have the term, suppose in case of root, you have the term root 2. Now root 2 square will become 2, right? Now similarly you have the term 3 root 2. Now what is 3 root 2 square? 3 root 2 square is 3 root 2 times 3 root 2. Now as I told you, separate these numbers, 3 into 3 times root 2 into root 2. These are all multiplication, right? So you can separate it accordingly. So what is 3 into 3? 3 into 3 is 9. What is root 2 into root 2? Root 2 into root 2 is 2. So 9 into 2 is ultimately 18. So an irrational number over here, which is 3 root 2, when squared becomes 18, which is a rational number, right? So basically we are taking advantage of that concept and just trying to get this to get square. Now what can we do for that? We multiply and divide it with conjugate. Well, remember it as a step. So in order to rationalize a denominator, you multiply and divide it with the conjugate, and then what we obtain is a rationalized form. So 7 minus root 3 root 2. 1 into 7 minus 3 root 2 is 7 minus 3 root 2. And in the denominator we have the same form, a plus b into a minus b. This is of the, now this gives us a square minus b square. What is a in this case? 7. So 7 square is 49. So a square minus what is b square? 3 root 2 square. Now as we already 3 root 2, what is 3 root 2 square? 3 root 2 the whole square is equal to 9 times 2, which is 18. So 49 minus 18 is the denominator. Now see, the denominator is rationalized. You had 7 plus 3 root 2 in the beginning. Now what you have is 49 minus 18, which is exactly 31. So 7 minus 3 root 2 divided by 31. Well, it seems to be like, you can look at it, right? Over here it was in an uglier form, 1 by 7 plus 3 root 2. Well, you had an irrational number in the denominator to begin with. Now, well, it seems to be like a cleaner form, you can say. Now, that is the concept of rationalization. Well, it is just a technique rather than just for solving problems for your ease. Now, moving on to the next concept of this chapter, the next concept will be your laws of exponents. Now, there are a few laws which I have already studied. You can remember of some laws, right? Like some laws like a power m times a power m times a power n equals a power m plus n. This is one law you have studied. A power m, the whole power n equals a power mn. This is another law you have studied. Now, a power m times b power m, you have the same powers, equals ab the whole power m. This is another law you have studied already in your 8th standard. And divided by, so another law is a power m divided by a power n equals a power m minus n. So these are some basic laws you have already studied. Now a power 0, that is also, I don't know, I don't think of it as a law, but a power 0 is 1, that is already known. So these are all some of the basic concepts or some basic laws of exponents we have already studied from our 8th standard. Well, you can remember them, right? Or by now you might know them. So some problems might be solved using this. Well, I'll solve some problems using these laws. So try to remember those laws so that you can solve along. So let me take an example. Now you have studied those laws for integral power. Suppose 2 power 1 times 3 power 1. Sorry, 2 power 2 times 3 power 2. What does this give? 2 into 3 the whole power 2. A power m, b power m will give us ab the whole power m, right? So 2 into 3 the whole power 2, which will give us 2 into 3 is 6, 6 power 2, which is 36, right? Now you know this, this is from 8th standard. But this same law can be applied for fractional powers or negative powers. Let me get you an example. 2 power 3 by 2 into 2 power 1 by 2. Now what does this mean? Times a power m times a power n. Now what does this bring us to? It brings us to a power m plus n, right? So we have a in the base and in the power we have different powers. So basically what we did in the 8th standard was we just had integral powers 1, 2 and 3 and so on instead of m and n. So 2 power 1 times 2 power 2 or something like 3 power 3 times 3 power 4 and something like that. But over here we have fractional powers. 3 by 2 and 1 by 2 are fractions. So what are we going to do now? We are going to apply the same principle over here. This equals 2 power a power m plus n, 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2. This is the same thing, right? So 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2. What is 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2? It is 4 by 2, which is 2. So 2 power 2, which in turn gives us 4. So the value of this question is 4. Simple, right? You apply the basic laws of exponents and solve some easy problems. So the next problem would be 3 power 1 by 5, the whole power 4. Well, this is a similar problem. So you have this exponent property, right? A power m, the whole power n equals a power mn. So this is a property which I have learned. Apply this to this question. 3 power 1 by 5, the whole power 4 is 3 power 1 by 5 times 4. Now what is 3 power 1 by 5 times 4? Well, it is easy. 3 power 4 by 5, right? 3 power 4 by 5. So it is simple. When you have problems like this, it is very simple to apply. But what if you have negative powers? You can also have negative powers over here. That is a rather interesting case. Take the case of same base 3 power 1 by 2 times 3 power, let us take a negative number 1 by 5. Suppose this is the case. What is the answer for this one? Well, what you can do over here is same thing. A power m times a power n equals a power m plus n. Same thing, right? Apply this. 3 power m times 3 power n is equal to 3 power m plus n. But you have to take n as minus 1 by 5. This whole thing is n. You can't skip the minus over here. So what you are doing over here is 3 power m 3 power n because 3 power m plus n. So 3 power, what is m over here? 1 by 2. What is n over here? Minus 1 by 5. So what you are doing over here? 1 by 2 plus minus 1 by 5. 1 by 2 minus 1 by 5, right? So if you take the LCM, you get it out to be 3 by 10, right? 5 minus 2, yeah. So 3 by 10. So this is your answer. So you can basically apply the laws of exponents for any integer or a fraction in the power, where you can easily simplify many problems based on using this laws of exponents and get the final answer. Now let us take another last problem so that we can solidify upon our concepts which we have learned until now. So the last problem would be 11 power 1 by 2 divided by 11 power 1 by 4. Now how do you do this problem? Well, this is of an easier form, right? A power m divided by a power n. What is a power m divided by a power n? A power m minus n. Well, if it is multiplication, then it is a power m plus n. It is division, a power m minus n. So basically what we do over here is a power, what is m? 1 by 2, and what is n? 1 by 4. Well, this a is 11 over here. So 11 power 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4. What is 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4? It is 1 by 4. So 11 power 1 by 4 is the answer. So that is basically it. That is basically the whole chapter covered within, I guess, 4 to 5 videos. So yeah, you had some concepts like introduction to irrational numbers. You had some concepts like how to represent an irrational number, and we on number line, and we came through all the properties dealing with irrational numbers, just like how we dealt with rational numbers in 8th standard. Like, you get to explore a new arena through this irrational number system, where you get to know more things about more types of numbers existing in the mathematics world, where you get to see like interesting problems like these and how to solve them, easier problems to deal with, and moving upon to further chapters, we will make use of these concepts to build upon further knowledge and practical experiences of mathematics. So that ends our chapter 1, and hence we will be moving on to chapter 2 from the next video. See you guys.